Studies Section 7. Pricing and Output under Oligopolistic Competition. Introduction. In contrast to both perfect competition and monopoly, oligopoly is very often encountered in the real world. Oligopoly is a market structure characterized by the presence of a small number of firms where actions are interdependent. In this study section, you will examine a series of models of oligopolistic competition. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this section, you should be able to highlight the characteristics of oligopolistic competition, analyze the models of oligopolistic competition, point out the forms of agreement are possible in collusive oligopoly. Point out the forms of agreements that are possible in collusive oligopoly. Oligopolistic competition. Oligopoly is a market structure characterized by the presence of a small number of firms where actions are interdependent. A change in the output or price of one firm influences the sales and profit of other competing firms. Oligopoly ranges between 2 and 25 firms in the market. The case of two competitors is a duopoly. The firms are not only relatively but absolutely large. Examples include the computer firms like IBM and Xerox. The principal effect of fewness is to give the firms such prominence that its decisions or actions have serious repercussions for other firms. Each firm recognizes that its best course of action in any decision situation depends upon the course of action of its rivals and clients. This is true whether the decision concerns a design innovation, new product, strategy, price changes, merger, etc. The forecasting of rival action and reaction is an exercise no oligopolist can afford to ignore. A change in the firm's status will elicit the prompt reaction from other firms. There are several models of oligopolistic behavior. They include Conant solution, Bertrand's duopoly model, Swiss's kinked demand model, quasi-competitive model, and the Stackelberg model. Question. In an oligopolistic market, the actions of one firm is not affected by the actions of the other firm in deciding the quantity and price of the product. True or false? Feedback. False. In an oligopolistic market, there is a small number of firms where the actions of the firms are interdependent. Models of oligopolistic behavior. Duopoly model. The earliest duopoly model can be attributed to Augustin Conant's model of 1938. It was originally applied to two firms producing spring water. Both firms are assumed to maximize profit. Each firm assumes that regardless of what output is produced, the other firm will hold output constant at the existing level. Each firm then chooses its own output level that will maximize profit. The action-reaction function continues until equilibrium point is finally attained, in which each firm produces 1/3 of the total market share. Assumptions of duopoly model. 1. We are dealing with identical products. 2. MC is equal to 0. 3. Duopoly situation devoid of collusion. 4. Each competitor fully knows the demand curve he is facing. 5. The other competitor will remain at the same level when one initiates prices and output change. Total market is equal to OQC. A as 0Q1. Remaining market is equal to 0QC minus OQ1. firm B produces OQ3 minus OQ1 at price P2. B sells OQ3 minus OQ1. Market left is equal to OQC minus OQ2. Total market open to A is equal to 3 over 4 of total market A. Now produces 1 over 2 of 3 over 4 of the market is equal to 38. General Cournot solution is given by Q is equal to QC, bracket open, N over N plus 1, bracket closed, where QC is competitive output, N is number of firms, Q is equal to 2/3 of QC, P is equal to 2/3 of monopoly price. Each competitor's output is equal to QC, bracket open, 1 over N plus 1, bracket closed. Price is equal to 2 into bracket PM minus PC, bracket closed, is equal to 2 over 3 into bracket PM minus PC, bracket closed, where PM is monopoly price, PC is competitive price. Each firm maximizes profit, but the total profit would be less than that of a monopolist but greater than that of perfect competition. Recognition of their interdependence or open collusion would have increased their profit, since each firm would then be acting like a monopolist. The Cournot solution is of limited use, since it assumes that each firm has identical product and identical costs. Bertrand developed an alternative duopoly model which differs from Cournot's model. This model assumes that each firm expects that the rival will keep its price constant irrespective of its own decision about pricing. Each firm is thus faced by the same market demand and aims at the maximization of its own profit on the assumption that the price of the competitor will remain constant. This model, just like Cournot's model, does not lead to the maximization of the industry's joint profit, since firms are assuming that rival competitors would keep prices fixed. The same critique as that of Cournot's solution can be leveled on this model. Chamberlain, on the other hand, suggests that a stable equilibrium can be achieved with the monopoly prices being changed by all firms if they recognize their interdependence and act to maximize the industry's profits. He rejects the assumption of independent actions by competitors. In spite of its advancement over others, it has, however, been criticized for ignoring entry of new firms. Stackelberg, however, extended Cournot's model. According to Stackelberg, one duopolist is sufficiently sophisticated to recognize that the competitor acts on Cournot's assumptions. The sophisticated firm then determines the reaction function of the naive firm, which he incorporates into his own profit function and maximizes profit like a monopolist. This sophist-acted firm will then act as a leader, while the naive firm will act as a follower. If both firms are, however, sophisticated, they will both act as leaders and collect higher profits. However, the market would be unstable and result to what is known as Stackelberg's disequilibrium until one of the firms surrenders and acts as a follower or a collusion emerges. Mathematical application of Cournot's solution. Given that P is equal to 100 minus 0.5 into bracket x1 plus x2 bracket closed, C1 is equal to 5x1 and C1 is equal to 0.5 x2. The profit of the duopolist would be given by profit 1 is equal to 100 x1 minus 0.5 x1 squared minus 0.5 x1 x2 minus 0.5 x2 squared minus 0.5 x2 squared. Profit 2 is equal to 100x2 minus 0.5 x1 x2 minus 0.5 x2 squared minus 0.5 x2 squared. Profit 1, the x1, is equal to 100 minus x1 minus 0.5 x2 minus 5 is equal to 95 minus x1 minus 0.5 x2. Profit 2, the x2, is equal to 100 minus x1 minus x2 s2, 100 minus 0.5 x1 minus 2 x2. x1 is equal to 95 minus 0.5 x2. x2 is equal to 95 minus 0.25 x1. The reaction function is given by x1 is equal to 95 minus 0.5 x2. x2 is equal to 95 minus 0.25 x1. x1 is equal to 95 minus 0.5 bracket open 50 minus 0.25 x1 bracket closed. x1 is equal to 80. x2 is equal to 50 minus 0.25 bracket open 80 bracket close is equal to 30. Total output is equal to x1 plus x2 is equal to 120. Price is equal to 100 minus 0.5 into bracket 120 bracket close is equal to 45. The King's demand model. This was developed Sweezy to determine equilibrium in an oligopolistic market. It is not a thereof pricing but attempt to explain price rigidities in an oligopolistic market. If an oligopolist reduces price, other firms would follow suit, and if it increases price, no firm would follow. Prices are thus firmly rigid in an oligopolistic market. The oligopolist's demand curve is given by curve DVD at price OP. The MR curve is not continuous because of the kink in the demand curve. It has two segments, MRS and MRB. Given that the firm's MC curve is CC, MR does not equate MC at any level of output. It can be shown, however, that OQ and OP are the most profitable levels of output and prices respectively. Even if MC shifts considerably to either BB or DD, OP and OQ are still the most profitable. One can thus expect prices to be rigid under oligopolistic competition. Question: highlight the models of oligopolistic behavior. Feedback: Bertrand model, Conant model, Sweezy's King's demand model, quasi-competitive model, Stackelberg model. Collusive oligopoly. One way in which oligopolistic firms can avoid the uncertainties associated with oligopolistic interdependence is by entering into collusive agreements. Two main forms of agreement are possible. They are cartels and price leadership. Cartels. In the absence of oligopolistic collusion, the equilibrium point of the oligopolistic firm is suboptimal except on very rare occasions. Profits are less than what is obtainable under pure monopoly. Firms may decide to form cartels to strengthen their bargaining power. Two forms of cartels are possible. 1. Cartels aimed at maximizing the joint profit of the firms, and 2. Cartels aimed at market sharing. Cartels aimed at joint maximization of profit imply an agreement among the competing firms aimed at Among the competitive firms aimed at minimizing the risk associated with interdependence. The firms now operate like the multi-plant monopolist. Price and quantity are then fixed with the sole aim of maximizing profits. As shown by the industry curve, production is at the point where MR is equal to MC, just like the monopolist. output is shared by both firms at S1 and S2 respectively. The profit by both firms are shown by the respective shaded regions. The market sharing cartel is one in which the firms agree to share the market, but each firm maintains a considerable degree of freedom concerning output, prices, and profits. The respective market shares can be obtained either by imposing quotas or adopting non-market competition. There are several examples of cartels in real life. The most formidable perhaps in OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Price leadership. Another form of collusion is price leadership, in which a firm sets the price and others follow. This form of collusion is more popular compared to cartel because it allows firms complete freedom on production and selling activities. There are various forms of price leadership. The most common are: 1. Price leadership by low-cost firm, in which a firm with the lowest cost sets the price while others follow. 2. Dominant firm price leadership. The dominant firm in the industry sets the pace for others to follow. And 3. Barometric price leadership. A firm with the best knowledge of the market in terms of prevailing conditions sets the price. It then acts as a barometer for others to gauge at. Mathematical derivation of profits and prices under collusive oligopoly. Assume that the market demand is given by P plus 100 minus 0.5 bracket open x1 plus x2 bracket closed, and the cost function of the two colluding firms are C1 equal to 5x1 and C2 equal to 0.5 x2 squared. Obtain the price and profit of the industry, assuming a form of collusion aimed at maximizing profit have been formed. The cartel aims at maximizing profit. Profit is equal to profit 1 plus profit 2, where profit 1 is equal to R1 minus C1 and profit 2 is equal to R2 minus C2 squared. Thus, profit is equal to bracket open R1 minus R2 bracket closed minus C1 minus C2. Profit is equal to bracket open 100 minus 0.5 bracket open x1 plus x2 bracket closed bracket open x1 plus x2 minus 5x1 plus 0.5 x2 squared. Profit is equal to 95x1 minus 100x2 minus 0.5 x1 squared minus x2 squared minus x1 x2. Setting the partials equal to 0, we obtain the profit dx1 is equal to 85 minus x1 minus x2 is equal to 0. The profit the x1 is equal to 100x1 minus 2x2 is equal to 0. Solving for x1 and x2 yields x1 is equal to 90 and x2 is equal to 5. Price is equal to 100 minus 0.5 bracket open x1 plus x2 bracket closed is equal to 100 minus 0.5 bracket open 90 plus 5 bracket closed is equal to 52.5. Joint profit is equal to 95 plus bracket open x1 bracket closed minus 100 x2 minus 0.5 x1 squared minus x2 squared minus x1 x2 is equal to 95 into bracket 90 bracket closed minus 100 into bracket 5 bracket closed minus 0.5 into bracket 90 bracket closed squared minus bracket 5 bracket closed squared minus 905 is equal to 4525. Int. A comparison with the result obtained under Cournot's solution will reveal that profits is higher under collusive oligopoly, compared to non-collusive oligopolists. Studies section summary. In this studies section, you observe that oligopolistic competition is very often encountered in the real world. It is a market characterized by the presence of very few firms whose actions are interdependent. The major distinctive characteristics of oligopolistic competition is that each firm takes cognizance of the fact that the action of one firm would invariably affect all other competing firms in the industry. This is the end of Studies Section 7. Thanks for listening.